and I hope you're having a wonderful evening wherever you are. We're just going to dive right in without an explanation. This is just going to be a cheap flight scan. We're going to start basic. When I'm feeling a little bit more generous, I'll go into a breakdown, but for right now, I'm just feeling bored, and we're just gonna go open this up, and we're gonna go during the slow shoulder season. We're gonna fall on a weekday, and let's see what we can find. Well, it looks like we have some pretty good deals here. We got some 5s, we got some 4s, a few 6s. I like 4s. I like 3s better. Do we have any little 3s? No, we don't have any little 3s here, but we do have plenty of 4s. Now, not all of these 4s are going to be good 4s. When we're thinking about what's a good 4, we have to think about, like, how long is the flight and how many stops? If you look right here, that's not a bad 5. I've seen better. Let's see if this Porto is a good 4. No, that's not a good 4. Let's go ahead and see why it's not a good 4. It's 20 hours. Why is it 20 hours? Well, if you want a little bit of time in Madrid, that might be a pretty good deal for you, but I wouldn't consider that a good 4. What's the return look like? And then another long layover. So yeah, this is a 4. I like the price. I don't like the layovers though. We're gonna keep exploring. Is this a good 4? No, it's got 2 stops and it's almost 40 hours. No, that's not a good 4. This looks like it might be a good 4. So we're gonna click on this. Oh my. We got a stop in Madrid. Ooh, but that return is not good. That return in Barcelona is not very good. No. That's so bad. What we can do is we can go back. Come on. Sometimes you gotta egg it on a little bit. But yeah, see the price history. Yeah, it's been tracking. Apparently this is the lowest, but it's just not a good 4. We could wiggle it around a bit and see what we could do with it. Maybe if we change the day a little bit. Let's open it up again. We already know that Monday's no good. But what about that Tuesday? What if we stretch it out just a little bit further? Okay, it's just going to change the price just a little bit. We're going to click that. What's the return look like? The return is still bad. Let's see if there's any good returns. No, there's just no good returns for this right now. That's too bad. We could fiddle around a little bit more. It really just depends on how much you want it. So I'm going to open it up. And it's being stubborn because I'm on the wrong tab. I need to actually click it again. There we go. My bad. Here we go. So what if we do it on a Wednesday? What do Wednesdays look like for this route? Once again, I'm seeing really good, and it's bad again. That's too bad. So yeah, that is not a good 4. How about this one? This one's the cheapest, but you notice the difference Yeah, I don't like that. This Aer Lingus looks better. I'm gonna click that. Yeah, a 2-hour and 20-minute stop in Dublin. That's just enough to get you through customs. Now, it's too bad the 468 has a huge layover. We don't want that. But for a little bit more, they'll give us a shorter layover. So let's just look and think for a second. Is 15 hours and 20 minutes worth the difference? I kind of think it is. I kind of want to say that my time is worth that. So I'm going to click that. And it's 5:03. That's not bad. You notice it's being sold by American, British Airways, and Aer Lingus. They all code share. They're all part of one big family. And right now, that's the price that American Airlines thinks that flight is worth. So even though it's operated by the other airlines, American Airlines says that you can fly one way, part of the way with British Airways, and then we'll fly you the rest. And they can totally do that. Click on this. It looks like the flight to there is completely operated by Aer Lingus, which makes check-in pretty easy. Okay, so that's a pretty good 5. It's too bad we couldn't get that 4. If we fiddle around a bit, let's just keep poking around. Oh, looks like British Airways has something else for us. Yeah, that's not bad. It looks like they offer 2 options. One with a stop in London Heathrow, one in Madrid. And that's a pretty tough choice. Going through customs in Madrid is hit or miss. Sometimes it's really smooth, sometimes it's a bit interesting, a little bit dodgy. London Heathrow, I would say they're pretty fast, but where you're going to see a hiccup is during the security line, because nothing says protecting, their great nation like having you throw away your facial moisturizer. Moving on. With CC. Yep, it's with American Airlines again. 5:03. Pretty nifty little layover. Not long enough to get bored, but definitely enough time to get through. Maybe pick up a little bit of food and get to the gate. Plenty of time. Let's see. We have another little 4. We'll go north. What does this look like? 2 stops. 2 stops. It really depends. They're telling me I can get 2 stops in less than 16 hours. Let's see if I need to be a sprinter. Oh no. No, that's not a good one. That's too bad. That's way too bad. Well, that'll just have to wait. Yeah, I'm not seeing the potential here. Maybe wiggle the days around, but I'm just not seeing it right now. That's too bad. We're gonna go up to Riga. What's going on with Riga? There's 2 stops with American and Finnair, or 1 stop. We'll click the 1 stop. That's interesting. And once again, it's not looking that good. That's too bad. No. Yeah, I'm just getting kind of bummed out by all these duds. I think I'll fiddle around a bit. I mean, sometimes I'm willing to be a little bit experimental, but let's say I'm just not feeling it right now. Let's say one stop or fewer. We can clean that up a little bit. That's what these are for. It definitely makes this a little bit easier. And we'll just do that one stop or fewer. That does put a damper on things for some of those prices, but that's okay. We still have some pretty nice looking 5s and 4s. They're not all gone. And it doesn't mean the layovers are going to be any shorter, but we can just poke around. Oh, British Airways again. Probably sold by American. Philadelphia is an American hub, if I'm not mistaken. That's too bad. That is quite a layover. It looks like if you want to avoid that, you're going to have to go up. And let's see what our total is. $570. You see the price change. Prices change in real time sometimes, especially if the algorithms. They're faster than we are. You have to remember all this data is coming through from the airlines to Google Flights. It's not always in real time. Sometimes you might find out that it's all those seats have been sold, or the algorithm has changed them. I'll show you what I mean when sold. Where's that Finnair? Again, I'll click that again. Well, I could have sworn I saw a Finnair. I was seeing British Airways. There's Aer Lingus. I don't know if Aer Lingus does that. Let me go ahead and let me see if I can find. It's being a little bit, it's being pretty testy. There's Iberia. So we're just kind of exploring. Here we go. Now, clicking this, and it's pulling that data. Okay, this one's being offered by British Airways for that price. You notice with American, it's a different price. The airlines can sell the same route for different prices. Don't let that scare you. Just make sure you pay attention. All these third parties can also sell you tickets. The only problem with this, if you see a good price on a third party, is we gotta remember that every time something happens, you gotta call them, and then they call them, and then they call them, and then they call you, and then you call them. Yeah. Just something to keep in mind. So I'm just going to make sure that price is accurate on the actual website. I'm just going to reject all because we're just looking at the price. Go down. There's our itinerary. It's offering a login. That's the hotel price, and there's the actual ticket price. If we go down, we can look at the breakdown. And the fare, the actual fare, is $28. We can do better than that. We can do $1. But if you wanted to go, that's pretty good. You see all the different taxes that need to be paid. And this is a nice option. You can hold this price for 72 hours. It gives you a chance to figure out if you actually want to go. We can go back to flight selection. I think British Airways will let you know. Yep, these are all on sale. Exciting. No, it doesn't. What I'm looking for is that sometimes some airlines let you know how many of these bargain sale tickets they have. I'm not seeing that here. I know Finnair does that. It'll be like, we have 4 tickets left at this price. Something like that. Something simple. But that's okay. We were just checking. Wasn't that exciting? But right now we're just looking. I wonder... Let's see. And let's say we got really excited about this Malta, but we were like, that's a little bit expensive. Well, if we go over here, we can just open this up and we can see, is that actually a good price? You're going to see that these are green. If we push this out a little bit, we can save a little bit, according to Google. Let's see if that's true. And save a little bit more money. A 2-hour stop in Frankfurt. That British Airways turned into a Lufthansa. And it's being offered by American Airlines, but it's $5.15 or $5.20. That's a little bit confusing. It says up here. Okay. So depending on, I guess, whoever you have a loyalty with, just go here. See if that's actually available still, or if, Google Flights is confused. And it is. It's $5.19. Not too bad. Yeah, we're just seeing a lot of these 4s, though, turn into 5s, but that was already a 5. We just got that $5.60 to a $5.20. Not bad. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing right now in the shoulder season. Obviously, you can keep playing with dates. Weekdays, avoid some of those business travelers. But as you see, it doesn't always translate to a cheaper flight. It really depends. There have to be planes flying. We're just gonna... Yeah. I'm seeing more 6s and less 4s. What a bummer. Let me check out Monday again. So yeah, you just kind of have to play around. And then there we go. We got some more 4s. That's nice. Oh, Delta with 1 stop. That's exciting. We can go over here. But that's almost a 6. Can they get that lower? No. They're saying right now they can't do any lower than that. That's a bummer. Oh, and here we go. It's telling Google Flights is helping me out and being like, why don't you go to a nearby airport? Well, thank you, Google Flights. I will. Oh, non-stop. If you happen to be near the, Newark, pretty easy to get there by train. Non-stop, too. The Amtrak will put you right next to the little airlift. I forget what they call it, the air tram that takes you right to the terminal. Very efficient. Obviously, that's for basic economy. That's $409. It might be worth it to double check Amtrak. See what the prices are before booking. You just want to make sure you put yourself in an awkward position by not giving yourself enough time to get to the airport, because this is at 6 p.m. That's not bad. No, that's pretty efficient. And then coming back around noon. So yeah, like I said, pretty quick to get to the Newark Amtrak station. Literally just walk off the plane, get your luggage if you need to. If you have a carry-on, even better. And take the air tram from the terminal to the Amtrak station, and you're there. The Amtrak station also includes the air tram with your fare, so you already have it paid for, but if I remember correctly. But yeah, so that's nifty. That was really nice of Google Flights to suggest. Every once in a while, it likes to give you a good prodding. It isn't always the most accurate tool, but I do like that. It's very beginner friendly. I think we all know Google Flights. There's some other tools out there, but I'm not going to bring them up because they're not very relaxing, and this is just something lazy. We're just here to poke around and have a little bit of fun. Oh, and there we have a Finnair. Oh, let's see. That's a long stop. I just can't stomach that. Now let's open it up. There's Finnair. And it'll show us the flight details. Okay, let's not worry about those cookies. Only necessary. It's loading the details. And it's reminding full refund if you cancel in 24 hours. No fees. That's true for any flight, international flight leaving the U.S. Don't think that that's only a Finnair policy. Any flight leaving the U.S. internationally, you have 24 hours to cancel that ticket. Don't let that stress you. Let's see if we can find that. Oh, yeah. See, we have the last 7 tickets at this price. I like that about Finnair. Otherwise, you really have to play around to find out how many seats they have for sale, which, if you're flying solo, isn't a big deal. But if you're flying with a group, that's good to know. Otherwise, you have to do something like this. Let's say, I see this Warsaw deal. Ooh. Yeah, I see this Warsaw deal, and I'm just like, yeah, that would be great. And it's thinking, let's say I want 4 of those. And it's thinking, let's see. So yeah, what it's gonna do is it's gonna have so many discount seats, and then it's gonna have non-discount seats, once you hit a certain number, you lose that discount. So it's just playing around and adding it. That's still a pretty good discounted price right there for 5 tickets. That's not too bad. It's still under 500 per ticket. If I go to 7, you see how it jumps up now? I just bumped it up 2. Now we're at about 500 per ticket. So we lost a little bit of that discount. So it's always fun. Sometimes you'll see one price when you're just buying one ticket, and then another price when you're buying multiple. So that's always good to check. Well, anyways, that's enough poking around for today. I hope you stay well. Have a great evening.